Yo, the new UI looks wicked. Look at the new UI, it looks wicked. I love it. Alliances, healer. The warriors are still the same, but the warrior units are different, right? There's no more Doombringer, no axe, put the hands. There's 8 warriors in total now. It was 10 before. Alright guys, so the new patch is here. I actually haven't read most of it. I had like a quick glance, but it looks freaking amazing. It looks awesome, so I'm really interested to see what this new patch has. Now, we had an idea of what was in it, but that was pretty much only the tip of the iceberg, right? We didn't get to see numbers, we didn't get to see what other changes were happening, especially to alliances and such and such. So let's go read the patch notes, let's get our first impressions, and then maybe in the future we can come back and look at our first impressions and what we thought of it and how it's actually applied inside the game, right? All right, so let's take a look here. So this is the big change log right here. You need to pretty much go to this website in order to be able to see everything. So yeah. So the biggest thing right now, of course, new modes, duels. Team up with a partner in crime to battle 7 other teams in an effort to be the last pair standing. You share a health pool. Your buddy can freely trade heroes and gold with them. Yeah, currently to queue up for duels, you will need to form a party with a friend. Yeah, I mean, we already knew about duels, that it was coming out. It was in one of the previews, so it's going to be really fun. I think this is probably the game mode that a lot of people will be playing in the beginning because it's a new game mode, and maybe in the future we'll see less of it because you obviously have to play with somebody else, and you know, sometimes you can't really find someone to play with, right? So you're just gonna play single player. So I don't expect this to be like the main game mode. I could be wrong, but it's gonna be difficult to like always have somebody that you're gonna be able to play with, right? So yeah. Freestyle, create any combat scenario that you want. So pretty much freestyle is where you can pretty much, it's like some kind of a developer mode kind of thing where like you can just go in, you can put on cheats, you can put on whatever units you want, so you can just like see what other people are doing, such and such. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I like this because you can go here, you can test out all the features, like all the units. You can see like how much damage they might deal to something, let's say with a chainmail or such and such. So it's really I like this. Okay, so gameplays every 24 hours. So the jail mechanic, they put it in, they didn't change the numbers. Every 24 hours a small number of heroes are detained in the rookery, so you can't play the small number of heroes that are banned, pretty much. So you need to like change your gameplay according to that, to the units that are banned. So this one is huge. XP is now advanced in increments of 5 instead of increments of 4. Each click of the XP wheel now spends 5 gold to gain 5 XP. The XP curve has been adjusted to compensate. So why they did this, I think it's just like a quality of life thing, right? Like previously you were paying 5 gold to gain 4 XP. You know, sometimes math is hard. Yeah, I know. So they just adjusted it so that you gain 5 XP for 5 gold. It's very simple. You know, everything goes in 5. So the old XP curve's like this, and now it's changed to this. So you might thinking, oh, why does it say 88 XP and 100 here? That's because like that's how much XP it takes to go from level 0 to level 9. Or level 0 to level 10. That's all it is. Like the XP, it's no different. You're still paying the same amount for the same amount of XP. They just adjusted it so that it's 5 gold for 5 XP. So you're pretty much paying 1 gold for 1 XP. Yeah, very simple math, essentially. Quality of life improvements. Item drops. The table for item drops from wave 30 and beyond has been adjusted. So these are the old rates, and then the new rates is the Thunder Hides changed from, you can see here, tier 3 50%, tier 4 50%, to tier 3 20%, to tier 4 80%. So they're pretty much trying to push stronger items earlier in the game. This is an insane change, okay? Absolutely insane change. So tier 4 items are going to be a lot easier to get starting from round 30. Round 35 now, even without Smuggler, you can hit tier 5 items, which are pretty game changing. A lot of them are pretty game changing, right? So let's see later in the notes if there are any changes in tier 5 items or something, but so far like things like Bloodthorn, you know, they would be amazing to pick up around 35, and this would probably make the game a lot faster as well. Like instead of going from round 35 to round 40, the game might just end on round 36 or even round 30. Like the fact that you can pick up the tier 4 item, like the ones that you want earlier, is really nice. Trolls 50-50, Yerby's 30-70, then Roshan obviously 100% on tier 5 items. Before, Roshan can still give you tier 4 items for whatever reason. But yeah, pretty cool change. I like it. So UI changes. The UI has received major haul. It looks pretty cool, as you can see here. It looks really cool. I like it. Hero voice lines. White Spire got a lot more chatty. I mean, I'm sure you guys can test yourselves out. Test those things out yourself. We're more interested in obviously the gameplay aspects. Underlords, starting with the big update, you'll be able to pick either Hobgen or Anessix to be your Underlord. Underlords are powerful units. Yeah, we know most of the stuff from the previous previews. You'll be able to modify them throughout the game to fit your current crew by selecting talents every 5 rounds, starting at round 10. Underlord talents modify the ability in powerful and unique ways. Be careful though, Underlords are not immortal and can be killed in combat each round. So yeah, this is the biggest thing that we need to look at is hype, right? Because this is like their form of mana gain for the Underlords. Underlords are like pretty much like your queen piece, like, or king piece in chess, kind of something like that, right? Like they, or I guess queen, because they provide like a lot of impact and they can do a lot of different things, but they're so unique. So yeah, hype. Hype is required to power each of your Underlord's ability. Each Underlord generates passive hype in a unique way. Every time an Underlord kills a unit, they gain 10 hype. So whenever they kill a unit, they get 10 hype. So I'm wondering if this means like if your team kills it, it doesn't mean anything. But I guess like you would have to have your Underlord actually get the last hit on it. If an Underlord is stunned or hexed, they lose 5 hype per second while under those effects. So stuns and hexes, if you want to like negate enemy Underlord effects, are going to be very prominent, because 5 hype per second sounds like a lot, especially since you're only getting 10 from killing 1 unit. When the enemy Underlord is killed, your Underlord is empowered and gains twice as much hype for the rest of the fight. Hype is not consumed when an Underlord casts an ability. So this is a really important part. Compared to mana, where like you spend all your mana to cast your spell, hype, once you build it up, it stays there until like you're hexed or you're stunned in some way and it's drained back. So you're always able to cast a constant flow of spells because of it. Underlord abilities. As long as your Underlord's hype is above the threshold for an ability, then your Underlord will cast it whenever it is ready. Yeah, just as we said. Each ability has its own separate cooldown. That's cool. So every ability does have a cooldown. As long as you have hype, you can constantly cast it off cooldown, right? Trash talk. Ooh, I like this one. Each Underlord comes with their own unique set of taunts for both the preparation phase, which go out to all players, as well as the combat phase, which only be heard by your current opponent. That's a funny thing. I hope they add more of these kind of stuff, you know, like trash talking should always be part of like every, you know, every sport pretty much, right? So we got some new heroes. So someone told me to read something which is pretty crazy, which I glossed over earlier. I don't know why it wasn't put up somewhere higher first, but they show the new heroes. But before we read the new heroes, I'm going to show you something, guys. It says right here, hero changes. This one is freaking the most huge change. Like, I don't know why it was just like hidden pretty much, right? It says here, all heroes have had their health doubled from their current values. So whatever you saw earlier, every hero has, whatever you played before in Underlords, every hero has twice as much health as they did, which means the fights are longer. Okay, whatever damage you see from spells, like flat damages, they're gonna be half as valuable, right? So this one is absolutely insanely huge. I wish they'd put this one like somewhere up at the top so you can read it. But if we started reading these units and we are trying to look at like their damage buffs and stuff like that, if we don't notice this thing, then like we're gonna have a wrong perspective of things, right? But all heroes have had their health doubled. That's insane. All right, but let's read the heroes and then go back to this again to like understand you know, what this means, right? Just want to make note of that. Yeah, you know what? Let's just read all the alliances first. Because it doesn't make sense to like try to analyze how these units work if you don't know what their alliances do, right? Because their alliances were definitely changed. So, so Brawny. Old Brawny units gain 30-60 max HP for kills they have. New, all Brawny units gain 15-30 maximum HP for each kill by any of your team Brawny units throughout the game. Oh, wow. Okay. So now if you play Brawnies, the reason why the numbers are like this is because you have like your Underlord, right, who steals kills. Then you have like you have so many other units and everyone has such high health. You can't guarantee your Brawnies to get their last hit themselves. So they pretty much made the stacks in half, but you know, your Brawnies still gain a pretty decent chunk of health no matter what. And if you do play like 4 Brawnies, then yeah, it's a pretty good chance that you're gonna have like they're gonna be pretty tanky. I think it's a good change. Like it's just a balance change, right? It's not like they were trying to buff it or something like that. They were trying to just make the Brawnies scale. They're just trying to make them scale with how the game is changing. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Deadeye. In addition to the standard alliance bonus, melee Deadeye units gain phasing movement. So this is pretty much for like Bloodseeker and whoever else is gonna have Deadeye now. So the units can just run through everything, and they can probably like they might even be able to stand on top of like other units and be hitting the unit that is supposed to be hitting with the Deadeye bonus, right? So that's pretty cool. Demon. Old demon units gain plus 50 pure. Yeah. A new demon is whenever a demon casts a spell for 4 seconds, all demons are silenced. And the caster gains plus 50% bonus pure damage for each allied demon. Whoa! Okay. And we should also read this one. Demon Hunters removed from the game. Demon Hunters have taken up other jobs on the streets of Whitespire. Okay. What? Whenever a demon casts a spell for 4 seconds, all demons are silenced and the caster gains plus 50% bonus pure damage for each allied demon. So maybe demons are a thing now, right? So that means demons on their own don't get pure damage anymore, correct? They only get pure damage if they cast a spell. And it's only for 4 seconds while all the demons are silenced, right? So you have like, let's say 4 demons, right? And then your Terrorblade casts Metamorph, right? Then he's gonna gain 200% bonus pure damage for 4 seconds. For 4 seconds. So yeah, for 4 seconds, Terrorblade will get 200% pure damage. And none of your other demons can cast any spells during that time. Then, what's gonna happen is once Terrorblade finishes his 4 seconds, another demon will probably cast a spell because for 4 seconds he was unable to cast spells and he probably ramped up enough mana to be able to cast a spell. And now he's gonna activate something, all the other demons are gonna go silent, and then he's gonna get the, let's say, 200% pure damage. It's so different, right? Like, demons are so different, and they remove Demon Hunter, so there's no way to turn off demon bonuses, and there is no demon bonus anyway, right? The demon bonus is only if you activate a spell first. So your demons are not getting 50% pure damage from the beginning. This is a very interesting change because now, like, let's say knights and like, not knights, like warriors, for example, like you can't do pure damage to warriors and like affect them from the start of the fight. You're gonna be able to, but you're gonna, like, whoever gets this insane pure damage if you have multiple demons is gonna be like maybe 2-shotting units at some point, especially depending on the item that they have. So it's very interesting. Like, I'm interested to see like how Terrorblade will interact with this kind of spells, and for that 4 seconds, like what he's gonna be able to accomplish. So elusive, old elusives, all units gain evasion. New elusives, all elusive units have a 10-20% chance to gain 100% evasion and 35% attack speed for 3 seconds when attacked. That's kind of crazy. I actually think this is much better than the old elusive, because this gives you 100% evasion. So on your first hit, like, the thing is, the numbers wise, it probably, you know, averages out to something very similar, right, to the old evasion. But the thing is, like, you can proc on the first hit, right? So let's say you put a Tremp Protector in the front lines. The first hit triggers the evasion, right? Has 100% evasion for 3 seconds. Now every unit who's hitting that Tremp Protector after the first hit, when he already triggered his evasion, cannot gain mana. So that's one way to use it. Another way is a PA blinks in, triggers the 100% evasion, right? And then gets 35 attack speed. It's gonna go ham. Dude, this thing looks wicked. I mean, we don't know how it looks like in practice, but I'm so interested in elusives. Oh, okay. So Trent might not be an elusive anymore. All right, we'll take a look at the other units, but just to give a sample, right? That was just an example. Like if you tank with an elusive, he might be going crazy. Like the enemy might not be able to charge any mana for like 3 seconds time, right? So yeah, humans, all human units gain 20, 44, 66% chance to silence. Yeah, we need that. And then new one is allies generate 4, 7, 10 mana per second. Woo! So humans are pretty much like Crystal Maiden, right? So we're gonna I'm assuming Crystal Maiden probably changed as well. So we're gonna take a look at that later. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Humans are able to generate mana for your team. I like that because to be honest, in the last patch, like silence was just bullshit. Like you either won or lost a fight when you're playing mages with human silence. So it was kind of just bullshit. So they're just essentially removing silence here from the humans and adding this thing. This is a lot more of a stable ability for sure. I like that. Primordial Alliance changed from 2-4 to 2-4-6, allowing for strong rank 3 Eidolons. Oh, that's because there's more primordial units now, right? So we're gonna take a look at Eidolons later. Sounds interesting. Savages attack damage gain decreased from 715-25 to 4-815. So they nerfed this. I'm assuming this is a nerf because of how every unit's HP is doubled, so the fights will be lasting longer. So savages might be actually like strong, so they had to like adjust the values accordingly to that. So very interesting too. Shamans, old is when they had the chicken thing, and now units attacking a shaman have 70% chance of being turned into a chicken and hop 2-4 cells in a random direction. Each shaman can only turn each enemy into a chicken once per battle. Oh, okay. So before it only hopped for like now there's probably like more shamans, right? So you can have like 4 shaman bonus. So level 1 shaman bonus is 2 hops. Level 2 shaman bonus is 4 hops, where previously it was always 4 hops. And then each shaman can only turn each enemy into a chicken once per battle. Okay, cool. So they can't like permanently be chickened or something like that. Interesting. So we're gonna take a look at like all the other shamans afterwards. So the new alliance changes. New alliance changes was Brute. Whenever Brute attacks an enemy, it applies a -15-40% damage debuff for 3 seconds. When the debuff is initially applied, it deals 100 damage. Brutes prefer to attack enemies that do not have the debuff. That's cool. Whenever Brute attacks an enemy, applies 15-40% damage debuff for 3 seconds. So that's a lot. Like a 40% debuff, damage debuff is a lot. But I'm assuming making 4 brutes is probably not ideal because of like how the other units synergize, right? But 15%, like this is kind of like how Dragon Knight, he did like 20% damage reduction level 1 or 25. Let's take a look. Breathe fire. Damage by it's only 25, it's not percentage based. So this one is percentage based. Damage debuff. So this applies not only to right clicks but also to spell damage. So that's pretty huge. Units are essentially going to become tankier because of that. When the debuff is initially applied, it deals 50 to 100 damage, so it's pretty good damage, I guess. And it prefers to attack enemies that do not have the debuff. So this one, I'm not sure how this functions. Like, are they going to hit one unit and then they're going to move on? Or are they going to hit one unit, they're going to stay on that, but the next brute who wants to attack something is going to attack a different unit. So they can keep applying the effect. So it's going to be pretty interesting for that. But it looks okay. Champions receive all alliance points. We need this one. Legion Commander, right? Healers. So this is the Healer Alliance. All friendly healing is amplified by 30%. That's pretty wicked, right? So let's look at who's in healing right now. Alliance Healers, it's Ench, Omni, Dazzle, Necro, Warlock. Okay. So we're gonna take a look at like the heroes later, so we'll keep this in mind, right? So healing is amplified by 30%. That's a lot. Insects. Spiderlings constantly swarm enemies from the edge of the board. Spiderlings are untargetable units that deal low damage and have 1 health. Okay, so they have 1 health, so they're instantly, you can kill them, right? Enemies bitten by spiderlings have a 30% chance to miss their attacks for 0.5 seconds. Spiderlings are replenished upon death upon up to a maximum of 12. So when you have the Insect Alliance, there's always a constant swarm of spiderlings. And then they have 1 health, and then when they're bitten by spiderlings, have 30% chance to miss their attacks for 0.5 seconds. That's a very short duration, but there's a constant flow of them. I think the most interesting thing is the enemies need to... Oh, they're untargetable. Why do they have 1 health though if they're untargetable? Does that mean like spells kill them? Ah, okay, so enemy spells can kill the spiders, but you can't target them in terms of like spells. Can you right click them? Very interesting. It's very interesting. This is something that we're gonna need to like put into practice in order to understand how really strong it is. It looks annoying, but it doesn't feel like it's really having a huge level of impact, right? So yeah, so those are all the alliances then, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so let's go back here. So Nyx Assassin, Alliance Insect Assassin Tier 1. Nyx Assassin pops spikes out of its carapace, negating and reflecting 100% of their damage dealt. So just like Dota 2, how the spell works. Max once from each source, as well as stunning the source of the damage for 1.5, 2 seconds. This is based off your levels, right? If you're level 1 Nyx, level 2 Nyx, level 3 Nyx, or 3-star Nyx. So yeah, so what this means is whenever he has 100 mana, right, he's gonna activate Spike Carapace. So like these spikes show up, and then whenever one of the units hit it, he reflects that damage, and that unit is stunned. Okay, so level 1 Nyx will stun them for 1 second, and it will reflect the damage. And when it says max once from each source, that means every unit can only be stunned once. Okay, from the damage that they dealt back. So it's pretty cool. 10-second cooldown, maybe you can get 2 of them off. I'm not entirely sure what his health pool looks like, but if he's a bit tanky, you know, at higher levels, he could be a really good stunner. Like 2 seconds. Like you can put him in the front line, then he'll absorb all the damage, he'll get mana for Spike Carapace, he'll click it, then everyone will just stun themselves, right? So it's pretty cool. Ability Vendetta. This is passive ability because an assassin, after teleporting to attack a unit, Nyx Assassin deals 200 bonus damage to his next attack and applies break to the enemy for 4 seconds. So you see how this says it deals 200 bonus damage? If I didn't know that all heroes had their health doubled, I would think Nyx 1-star is so broken because 200 damage every time he teleports behind someone and hits them is insane, right? But when you know that every unit's health is doubled, okay, it's not that bad. It's pretty good. It's a decent spell. But the best part about this is probably this one, where it says applies break to the enemy for 4 seconds. So if you ever break is where it disables all the passive effects, right? So if it goes on top of a Drow Ranger, stops their passive for 4 seconds, that's a lot of like, no. That's a lot of aura that's been taken away. Or maybe he has a Troll Warlord or something, and then Troll Warlord also cannot be able to use his troll effect. What is it called? Fervor or something? Yeah. Whatever Troll's passive abilities is going to be turned off. But yeah. Alright guys, Shadow Demon. Let's check it out. Alliance, Heartless Demon, Tier 1. He's also another Nyx Assassin, also Tier 1. Ability, Demonic Purge. Repeatedly purges the target enemy unit, removing positive buffs, applying break, and slowing the target for 5 seconds. The unit slowly regains its movement attack speed until the end of the duration, upon which 500, 800, 1100 damage is dealt. 100 mana, 20, 15, 10-second cooldown. So, it's very simple. It's just like a purge. So how it works in Dota is like when you activate the spell on the enemy, it'll like slow them down, and it'll constantly purge them. So you can't put like any buffs on that unit. Let's say like you cast Ogre Bloodlust, right? You Bloodlust that unit. If the purge is on it, the purge will just remove the Bloodlust constantly. So you can't do anything. It'll only remove enemy positive buffs. If you are doing some kind of damage over time spell on them, it will not remove that, right? And the unit will slowly regain its movement and attack speed until the end of the turn. So we're not entirely sure like how much movement speed, attack speed is draining end of the duration. So we don't know how much it's draining from like the start to end, but you know, you'll get a pretty good feel for it, I guess. There's a lot of units that we don't know like the exact numbers, so it's fine. Pretty cool unit. 500 damage. So in the last patch that would be 250 damage pretty much. Yeah, not a bad spell, but I'm not entirely sure how fast he attacks or how quickly he gains mana. But you know, we'll come back to this unit like maybe in a week or two's time to see like how we value it. So Dazzle, Alliance Troll Healer, Tier 2, Shadow Wave. Dazzle sends out a bolt of power that arcs between 3 to 4, 5 allies. So this is like at level 1, it's healing 3 units. Allies that are 3 cells apart, healing each ally for 80, 140, 200, while damaging any units 1 cell away for 80. So the same amount it heals for, it'll damage. Dazzle is always healed by Shadow Wave. So it's actually 4 units that are being healed. It's going to be 3 allies and himself at level 1. So it's pretty cool. I mean, 80 HP doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, especially on high armor units or high resistance units. It's 10 second cooldown on level 1. Pretty cool. I think it's going to be a very interesting hero. The best part about this spell is like if let's say all your units surround something, you can deal like a lot of damage. That's 80 times 3 just on one unit. If like your units are surrounding one unit, right? That's gonna be a lot. And heal wise, like I guess because the patch changed and every unit has like double the health, like no, how healing works is every unit has some kind of resistance. So that's going to like pretty much have a lot of effect. This doesn't properly like articulate, you know, how much the unit's actually being healed for, because it doesn't account for like effective health or something like that. But yeah, from playing Dota 2, I know like units like Dazzle, when they're able to keep on casting their heal, it's like really awesome. And also we should understand that it's a healer alliance. So when we read the alliance for the healer, we'll understand, you know, how this spell will be improved, because I believe healer alliance has a way to boost your healing abilities, and maybe that's one of the reasons why the numbers seem a little bit low, but should be a lot more effective than it actually is. Magnus Shaman Brute Empower. Magnus enrages an ally, granting him 30, 50, 80% damage and 30, 50, 80% cleave. So this was what we're looking for, right? Because we were kind of questioning Shaman Brute. It doesn't sound very good. Cost 0 mana. Okay, so it's like Ogre Magi with a 7 second cooldown. So it enrages an ally, granting him. Okay, does this mean that it can enrage any ally or the one beside him? Does anyone in chat know this? Because like if it works like Ogre Magi, you need to put Magnus near one of his melee units in order to activate his ability, right? But we don't know if it like enrages his ally or that's nearby or anywhere. So yeah, so let's assume that it enrages any ally, right? So 30% damage and 30% cleave. So this is based off your base damage, so not based off your plus damage, probably. And at 30%, let's say your unit has 100 damage, is an extra 30 damage, 30% cleave. The biggest values is when it reaches freaking level 3. If you have level 3 Magnus, that's 80% damage and 80% cleave. That's a lot. That's gonna be a lot for sure. And because he's the shaman, we're gonna see if the shaman alliance change in any way. But if he is like a really tanky unit at level 3, he's gonna be able to constantly, you know, turn people into chickens, right? So that's pretty cool. I'm interested to see Magnus. Still kind of iffy about it. Weaver, Insect Hunter. Ability Shikuchi. Weaver shifts out of visibility, becoming untargetable and quickly moving through a target up to 3 cells away. Weaver deals 60, 120, 200 damage to each enemy it passes through. 20 mana. It costs 20 mana? So as soon as the fight starts, he's gonna be able to cast Shikuchi right away, right? So it's like some unit that pretty much does some damage over time. And because he's a hunter, he's able to like right click and do a lot of damage with that. IO now. Alliance Primordial Druids tier 3. Ability Tether. IO tethers to nearest allied units and pulls itself towards it. IO and the tether unit gain 50, 80, 110 attack speed. And 10, 20, 30% damage reduction. Tether will break if IO is more than 4 cells away. 4 cells away. That's a lot. He can tether pretty much like his entire side of the board. That's pretty cool. Ability Relocate. IO teleports away for 4 seconds to revive a dead hero. The 2 units return with full health and are purged of negative effects. Wow. Just wow. I don't know what to say. I need to see IO stats, but like this seems amazing. What in the world? Stats? He has 1100 HP? Right, everyone's health is doubled, right? We should remember that everyone has double. So last patch, Juggernaut had 600 HP. He's at 1200. So that makes sense, okay? So in comparison to last patch, he would only have, as a tier 1 unit, 550 health, right? So it should be like this guy, right? Like Viper. So it's kind of like Viper in the last patch. But he's ranged, and he can stay back, and he's a supporting unit, right? So IO tethers, unit gains 50 attack speed on level 1. That's like Bloodlust, right? So that's comparable to Bloodlust. Bloodlust gives 65 on level 2, right? So it's very level 1 IO can pretty much roughly give about Bloodlust. Then it's 10% damage reduction. Damage reduction is like a super valuable thing inside the game, because how AI works is it never actually calculates for enemies like what kind of reductions they have. For example, Sniper AI, right, is gonna try to find the highest health unit that he can one-shot. But the highest health unit he can one-shot might have a hood on it, which won't actually kill that unit, thus making Sniper's Assassinate useless. In the last patch, that's what it did, right? So now, whenever this IO tethers, some unit and there's some damage reduction, maybe the enemy Laguna Blade goes on this unit, doesn't kill it, and now this unit can, like, let's say, heal itself back up or get some, healing done, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really, really cool. But, like, IO sounds wicked. Like, and he's also a druid, right? So because he's a druid, he's gonna be able to grow. Like, let me just take, like, Druid Alliance never changed, right? So you pair it with like one of these druid guys, and then he'll automatically be 2-starred, and then he'll give 80% attack speed, 20% damage reduction. That's insane. This is his passive ability pretty much. Has a 2-second cooldown if it breaks the tether. So in the beginning of the fight, a unit is instantly getting, like, let's say on average 80 attack speed and 20% damage reduction, because he's a druid. It's gonna get 2-starred. That's insane. That's just insane, right? And then ability Relocate. IO teleports away for 4 seconds to revive a dead hero. So this one is kind of weird, because like when he gets full mana, he's gone from the board for 4 seconds. That's a long time to be gone from a board. That's a long time to be losing a very important unit who gives bonus attack speed and damage reduction. So that could be detrimental a little bit, right? But he comes back with a full health unit. Now this Relocate spell is definitely based, like, how good it is based on like what unit he brings back, right? The other thing it could be good for is that he teleports away, so there's a chance that maybe he's dying and he teleports away in like a very clutch position, right? So he comes back in 4 seconds. Instead of him dying, he goes away, he comes back in 4 seconds, and he brings 2 units back. So there's like a lot of different ways how like teleport could be good, and there's some small reasons why it could be bad, right? So it's very freaking interesting. Very interesting. Like, I'm a huge fan of this IO right now. Huge fan. Alright, Legion Command. So this is the one that we've been so hyped for, right? The freaking Champion Alliance. Oh, so he's a human champion. So human, we read earlier that it gives mana to your team. Very nice. And a champion. Okay. So ability, Duel. Legion Commander targets the lowest health enemy 1 cell away, and they are forced to attack each other for, hold on, 4 seconds. And then it scales up to 5.5. Okay. Target the lowest health enemy 1 cell away, and they are forced to attack each other. Okay. Neither hero can use abilities. If either hero dies during the duration, the hero win the duel gains permanent 5, 10, 15 bonus damage. 100 mana, 40-second cooldown. So let's take a look at the Legion Commander. You want to see its stats, what it looks like. So at 1 star, 1,000 health. Whoa, that's very little. That's less than Io. So I'm gonna use Viper as our comparison, right? 1,100. He back then, like in the last patch, Viper was pretty much the lowest health one, like tier 3 unit. So Legion actually has very little health for a 1 star, but as a 3 star has pretty good amount, I guess, right? So half of that, 2,400, it's okay. Mana, damage, DPS is pretty low too, 37. Ugh. Let's just compare it with, like, let's say like a PA is 67 DPS, so like half of like a carry's DPS, right? It's not a lot of DPS, right? So Legion's stats on average is like, I mean, it's below average, right? Legion's stats are pretty much below average. So, but the thing is, the hero win the duel gains permanent damage. So there's a chance that, you know, Legion can pick up a lot of damage and ramp up, right? The earlier you get it, the more kills the Legion Commander has, the more damage it'll scale with throughout the game. Correct? Ability, Will of the Bull Snake, unlocked by the Dragon Alliance passive. Whoa! So you can actually activate Dragon Alliance. When Legion Commander wins a duel, she instantly heals for 50% of her maximum health. That's wicked. As a 3-star unit, this like Legion Commander is gonna be insane as a 3-star unit. So Legion is a human champion, right? So champion, as we read before, it can pick up all your active alliances. Whatever active alliances you have, Legion will take it, right? That's pretty much the reason why her stats are like super mediocre as well, because she's gonna be gaining so many buffs from your whole board, right? So the more units you have on the board, the stronger Legion is. The more alliances you have, the stronger Legion is. And if she levels up, she's going to be stronger as well. And she can even get Dragon Alliance. I didn't even think it was possible, but that's pretty cool. So how does Legion work with like all the other alliances? Assassins, she gets a crit. You know, Bloodbound, also the same thing, can get damage from that. Brawny can get HP. Like, this is actually insane. And now that Brawny, all Brawny units gain maximum health based off like how many your kills your team has in total. That means your Legion Commander can have like a shit ton of health when it comes on the board as well. So like this unit, it seems like its potential is completely limitless. This might be the first ever like infinite unit, you know, where its potential is just insane what it can do. Like everything is insane. Like Legion can start with 10 armor, have like Shaman bonus where people hitting it can turn into chickens or whatever. Deadeye, that's now Legion can also be a Deadeye unit, right? So it can go always for the lowest HP target. When it gains mana, it's gonna duel the lowest HP target. Now it's gonna get free damage. Holy shit, this is actually a lot more impressive than I thought. Yeah, it's definitely like Legion is pretty much like the new carry. It's kind of like a carry, right? Like it can pretty much carry any fights, like if you build around it. I think it has a lot of potential for that, but you need like good alliances to work around it, because Legion Commander stats itself is like very mediocre. Like these stats are well below average. So you're gonna need to have a lot of like champions. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of good alliances to make it work for sure. Okay, let's move on. Lifestealer, Heartless Brute. Wait, hold on. Tier 3? Isn't Lifestealer tier 1? I'm pretty sure they were making Lifestealer tier 1. I knew it! When I first read Lifestealer, I'm like, there's no way this unit should be tier 1. They made a mistake. When they first announced Lifestealer, they announced it as a tier 1 unit. But it's actually a tier 3 unit. Ability Feast, passive. Lifestealers attack damage enemies and heal himself for 3, 4.5, 6% of his target's max health. Bonkers! Absolutely bonkers. Do you know why? Because every unit has double the health, and Lifestealer does percentage-based damage. In Dota, well, what do we know from Dota? Lifestealer is so good against tanks, right? Why? Because everything he does is percentage-based damage. It's actually insane. This guy. The only thing is, if he was a warrior and he got like plus 10 armor, he'd be even stronger. But he is a brute, so he can apply the damage debuff to the enemy. That being said, enemies dealing damage back to Lifestealer is going to be less. And this also, because he does percentage-based damage to the enemy, he also heals it back to himself. So he's a super tanky guy. So the best thing you want to do with Lifestealer is probably put like an attack speed item or a defensive item on him, so he stays alive longer. And he's also heartless. We should also mention that since there's more than 6 Heartless units now, it's easy to get the 6 Heartless bonus as well, right? So it's really, really cool. Freaking insane. Like, this Lifestealer is going to be... he can be a monster, especially if he becomes 3-starred, right? Let's take a look at his stats when he's 3-starred. 6.5k health. So in the last patch, half of that, like 3.2k, that's a lot. That's a lot for a 3-cost 3-star unit. His stats are really good, and his DPS early rounds is only like 34, but that's because like his damage comes from percentage base, right? So this is not an accurate presentation of how strong the unit is, but this ability is what makes him insanely powerful. He's just freaking awesome. Especially with every unit having so much health. I think it's gonna be wicked. I mean, we're gonna come back like next week or 2 weeks from now, whatever, to revisit like our thoughts on the patch, and then we'll like really have a good assessment of this unit after we played, right? So yeah, Bristleback, Brawny Savage, tier 4, Quill Spray. Bristleback sprays quills from his back, damaging all enemy units 2 cells away. Okay, 2 cells. It's not that much. It's pretty decent, I guess. Enemies take 40, 80, 160 damage, along with an additional 60? What? 64, 68 damage for each stack of Quill Spray they have been hit with this round, up to a maximum of 5 stacks. 20 mana, 3-second cooldown. OMG, dude. The stack damage is insane. So let's take a look at Bristleback. He's a Brawny Savage, so he like... So we'll take a look at Bristleback. Where are you, buddy? There you are. Okay, so he gains HP all the time. So you don't like how Brawny works now is like there's pretty much like a kill counter, right? And then the kill counter for your whole team pretty much gives your Brawnies that much health based off that. So it's pretty cool. So when Bristleback comes in the board like late game, he's still gonna have bonus health, right? And he's also a savage, right? Let's look at his stats first. He's got 2200 HP as a 1-star, so 1100 last one. Yes, that's a lot. That's a lot of HP. His DPS is very high too. Armor's 10, so he's higher armor than your average unit, right? Like every other unit has 5, so he has 10 armor, so he's just like a Kunkka, for example, how he starts off. Very tanky unit, has good HP bonus, has insane damage, and the the biggest thing is not off his cast, but it's off his stacks, right? So all these tanks are going to keep taking more and more and more damage, right? If you have armor, of course this damage is going to be mitigated, but that's a lot of freaking stack damage, right? So even as a 1-star unit, he has very high value. It doesn't scale that much, but his initial damage scales when he levels up, right? Which is very good. And the biggest thing that we need to talk about is that it has a 3-second cooldown. Okay, so it's spammable. It's Savages. Savages, each time they land an attack on an enemy or casted damaging spells. This was a huge change in the last patch, but we're thinking like, why? Why did Savages get, damage for casting a spell? It doesn't make sense. This makes sense. Bristleback, 3-second cooldown. He's gonna ramp up so much damage, especially if you have more Savages. Because he's gonna hit, he's gonna Quill Spray. And that's going to instantly give him 2 procs of Savages, right? So he's going to ramp up a lot. Like, level 2 Bristleback is going to go ham. Like, this unit looks amazing. I'm so hyped right now to play this patch. Holy shit. Broodmother, Insect Warlock, tier 4. Ability, Spin Web. Broodmother spins a web 2 cells wide on top of an enemy unit. Enemies on the web lose 20, 30, 40 attack speed, 80% movement speed, and 50%, 50, 70, 100% cast speed? What the heck is this? They just added a new mechanic to the game. They added cast speed. Huh. They added cast speed to the game. Interesting. So, enemies on the web lose 20, 30, 20. So, let's say level 1 Brood, right? They lose 20 attack speed. They lose 80% movement speed no matter what. So, they're literally snails. They can't move from like one square to another square, which is insane. This is actually a super underrated like thing, I think. This probably should be changed in the future, potentially, if Broodmother isn't like completely terrible. And then 50 cast speed. So the units are casting spells super slowly, and let's say like a Witch Doctor cast comes out of nowhere, right? The enemy's like trying to cast, like you can imagine Laguna Blade coming out and then just gets cast. And then it goes to someone else. And then Laguna Blade's coming out again, it gets cast again. And then he can't stun, he can't do anything. And 100% cast speed is like, that doesn't mean the enemy can't cast a spell, it just takes twice as long to cast it, right? 50% means it takes 1.5x to cast it, right? 100% does not mean that the unit cannot cast a spell. Costs 100 mana, 25-second cooldown. It's kind of weird because like now this unit Broodmother doesn't have any DPS, right? Let's look at the stats it has. It has 2,000 health. So last patch 1,000 HP. It's okay. Armor only 5. It's a Warlock. Like, I don't like it. I don't think I like this. Like, you have a unit whose complete utility, it doesn't benefit itself in any way, right? It doesn't help itself in any way. It doesn't do damage. It's a complete utility. And then insects are like just annoying, right? From our understanding. And it's a Warlock. So Warlocks are the same. They cast a spell, they form a link, your units heal, right? But Brute doesn't do any damage when he casts a spell. And his cooldown is 25 seconds. He's triggering how many webs in a fight, right? 2 cells wide is like, okay, but I mean, I guess they'll stay in the fight for the entire duration, which could technically do a lot if the enemies are in that area. But there's a chance that the Brood AI might throw like a really bad web too, right? And then the enemies don't stay in it. Now what? You have like some worthless Broodmother who doesn't even have high DPS. Really mediocre stats. It's a support unit, but it's like I said, no damage, high cooldown, and it's a Warlock insect. Like, they seem kind of underwhelming, right? for a 4-cost unit. Alright, let's take a look at the next unit then. This is probably my least favorite unit so far, Broodmother. Faceless Void, Ace of Assassins! Okay. Ace effect. Allied assassins have a 5% chance per assassin alliance level to dodge attacks by jumping backwards. 5% chance per assassin alliance level. Fully avoiding both physical and magical damage. 50% chance of finding if you have at least one level of assassin alliance complete. Okay, let's take a look at the alliance first. How many? There's 2 levels, right? 2 levels. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 assassins now. So it's actually much easier because they put the Nyx assassin, right? As an assassin too. Oh, wait, anti-mages and assassins. Okay, we're gonna get there eventually, right? So 5% chance per. So they have a 10 at max level. They have 10% chance to dodge attacks by jumping backwards in time, fully avoiding both physical and magical damage. Okay, cool. When they dodge the attacks, where do they jump to? Or do they jump in the same square? That's gonna be cool, right? Interesting to know. Because if they jump too far back, then they can't get back into a fight easily. But if they're on the square, they just dodge the attack, like backtrack or something. They just backtrack damage and then they can just keep going, right? It just makes assassins a bit more tankier. Pretty cool. I like it. I like the ace. Chrono Cube creates a blister in space-time, stunning all units caught 2 cells away from the center of the cube for 4, 5, 6 seconds. Faceless Void moves very quickly inside the cube and gains 50 attack speed. Only Faceless Void is unaffected. So there's a problem with the spell. It's a problem with the spell that's been there since the dawn of Dota, where Faceless Void tends to chrono his own teammates, and the enemy takes that time to kill your teammates. So I don't know how the Faceless Void AI works, but only Faceless Void can move inside the cube. But this probably means that all your assassins, if they all jump in the same, because Faceless Void is an assassin, right? He's gonna blink to the backline, also hit units, right? So there's a very good chance that he might chrono his own allies, and then the enemy might cast like some crazy AoE spell in there, and your units are stunned. But at least your assassins have backtrack, right? So maybe they can dodge some of that. So if you chronos your own team, because actually most assassins jump to the backline, they're gonna be right beside the Faceless Void, correct? Gonna be weird, but interesting for sure. Interesting for sure. I'm kind of iffy on the Void, but I like this ace effect. I'm just not entirely sure about how Chrono Cube will function, but it sounds like a cool ability. I'm excited to see it. Sven, allied human scaled alliances, human scaled knight. That's a lot of alliances, by the way. Tier Ace of Knights, Ace effect. When Sven casts God Strength, all allied knights lose their Knight Alliance bonus and gain 50% damage per Knight Alliance level for the remainder of the round. All allied lose their Knight Alliance bonus and gain 50% damage per Knight Alliance level for the remainder of the round. So we'll take a knight. There's three levels of alliances, plus 50% chance of finding if you have at least 1 level of knights. Okay. Interesting. When Sven casts God. So God Strength, Sven enrages and gains 100, 150, 200% damage for 60 seconds. It costs 200 mana. OMG. Is this the highest costing spell in the game? 100. 200 mana. That's a lot. That's a lot of mana cost. Ability Grey Cleave passive. This unit's melee attack strike nearby enemies for 30, 45. It's not as great as Magnus's for sure, but it's it's just a little extra ability for Sven, right? It'll probably do something for sure. It's just the problem with this ability is I'm guessing it's physical damage, not pure. If it was pure, that would be insane. But yeah, so alliance bonus and gain 50% damage per Knight Alliance. Like all the knights pretty much like become glass cannons, right? When Sven activates God Strength. But when Sven activates God Strength, it's not like he's activating it at the start of the fight, right? Because he needs to gain 200 mana. That's a lot of mana to gain first. So he gains 200 mana, he activates God Strength, all your knights lose their defensive abilities, and then they gain 50% additional damage per knight. So that's gonna be like 150, right? Percent if you have like 6 knights running. If you have 6 knights running, it's gonna be 150% damage amp for all your knights. Pretty cool. Seems interesting. Let's check out his stats. His stats are, he's got 1,900 health. So last patch about 950 at level 1. It's not very high, but it's okay. His damage is good. Yeah, I can see this unit being very strong, but you gotta find the way like where to use it. For me, the most impressive thing about Sven is that he's a scaled, so it's easy to get this magic resistance on your board, and with knights and magic resistance, they become super tanky, right? And also he's a human, so all your knights are gonna be generating a lot of mana. I'm guessing that one of the reasons why it's also 200 mana is because you don't want the Sven to obviously cast his ult right away, but at the same time, because he's a human, and a lot of the knights are humans too, they're gonna be able to generate a lot of mana for their team really quickly anyway. But yeah, we can definitely imagine like this Sven pretty much one-shotting like boards. Alliance Knights just pretty much one-shotting boards potentially. Alright, hero changes. So there were actually other hero changes made. We had talked about the health doubled value. This is probably the most insane thing like in this whole patch. So I hope they set this somewhere at the top instead. So yeah, anti-mage. So we learned earlier that demon hunters are gone. So what does he become? Alliance changed from elusive demon hunter to elusive assassin. Whew. Maximum mana change from 100 to 0. Mana break. Also burns 2 for 6 hype from Underlord. So AM can actually burn hype. That's cool. And he's an assassin now. Holy shit. So AM is gonna blink into the backline and he's gonna hit like these weak, units and still burn their mana? That's insane. Can you imagine AM blinking into the backline, burning your sniper's mana forever? Or like your Lich or Coddle's mana? It's gonna be so sad. And he's an assassin, so he can also crit off that. That's insane. Demon Hunters wasn't even doing much for anti-mage, right? So AM stock just went up like crazy. And it also burns insane amount of mana, right? Like, I guess Demon Hunter made it so like enemy demons don't get their pure damage, but that's gone from the game, so it's not even relevant. But like, also the fact that you can burn hype. This is, I don't know if this is the only unit who can burn hype, but that's pretty interesting. Especially since it's an assassin and you want your underlords to be in the back so they stay alive longer. Like, he's gonna be able to get to the underlords pretty easy. Axe, and he's an elusive. Elusive PA. Axe. Alliance changed from Brawny Warrior to Brawny Brute. So Axe doesn't gain armor anymore, but he actually has a pretty decent amount of like armor gain. Like, he goes from 5 armor to 10 armor when he's 2-star already, so that's fine. So it's a Brute now, okay. Batrider, Sticky Napalm, cell range changed from 2 to 1. Why? Cell range changed from 2 to 1. So he needs to be like 1 cell closer to be able to cast it? Or does that mean it's shorter distance? Or like, it only casts on 1 cell. It doesn't cast on 1 cell, right? If it casts on 1 cell, that sounds pretty bad. Does that mean Fall from Grace is pretty bad on night builds now? We're not entirely sure how that might work. It could be still very good because you're gonna have a lot of minus armor and your knights can just one-shot people. So yeah, okay, let's just we'll figure this one out at some point. Bloodseeker. Alliance changed from human Deadeye assassins to bloodbound Deadeye. So he's no longer an assassin. but he moves like an assassin when he has the Deadeye active, right? So he's not an assassin, he doesn't jump to the backline. He'll be just sitting in front of you, right? But when he has Deadeye, he'll be moving, he'll be phasing through units to get to the low HP target, so he's kind of like an assassin. And he's no longer a human, so he's a Bloodbound Deadeye. So if Bloodseeker dies, you have Bloodbound, then your units, whatever other unit who has Bloodbound is gonna have a lot of damage. Oh, I'm thinking, okay? You play Bloodseeker, you play Ogre or Warlock, right? And then you play Legion Commander. So you have Bloodbound, right? You have Bloodseeker, and then you need another Deadeye, right? Then your Legion will have Bloodbound and Deadeye. And when Bloodseeker dies, this Legion is just gonna go around with this Bloodbound and just start one-shotting units, right? With his Deadeye ability. There's a lot of potential with Bloodseeker now because of Legion Commander, I feel like. I think this connects a lot to that. And because he is Bloodbound, like, if one of your units dies, like one of your Bloodbound units dies and he gains the damage from it, as a Deadeye, this Bloodseeker might just kill a lot of things. The unfortunate thing for Bloodseeker is though he is still a 1 cost, so his HP pool is not very high, he's not tanky, he's still like a glass cannon, right? Crystal Maiden tier changed from 3 to 2, removed Arcane Aura. I'm guessing this is because humans have the mana regen, and obviously because of the new jail system, you can't have Crystal Maiden giving mana to mages, or else like mages would just be unplayable, right? We discussed that in the other previews. Added Frostbite, encases an enemy unit in ice, prohibiting movement and attack while dealing 100, 125, 150 damage per second for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Wow, 5 seconds stun. That's a lot. Wait, what's the cooldown on this? I guess we'll just check in game. Doesn't say there what the cooldown is. Cooldown is 10, 8, 6 second cooldown. Whoa. So if 3-star CM, it can actually almost permanently stun a unit, and its damage is well, it doesn't show here, it's bugged. So 100, 125, 150 damage per second. So for 5 seconds, that's 750 damage, and then mages still do 100% more magic damage if you have the full thing. So that's about 1,500 damage over 5 seconds. And obviously humans are the ones who give mana, so you don't have to depend too much on the Crystal Maiden. That's by the way, as 6 humans, that's 10 mana per second. That is much more than the old Crystal Maiden, because the old Crystal Maiden was giving 20 mana. Wait, it's the same actually. It was giving 20 mana. The 3-star Crystal Maiden was giving 20 mana every 2 seconds, which is 10 mana per second, right? So as 6 humans is the same level as having 1 Crystal Maiden 3-star, which you were not gonna 3-star. It was useless. But now it's a tier 2 unit, so it's very cheap, very easy to 3-star. I think this unit in Mage comps is gonna be pretty cool because it's a stun, right? They can't move and they can't attack, but they can probably still cast spells. That's the thing. So that looks wicked, right? The Crystal Maiden. So let's just try to finish off this list already here. Doombringer Alliance changed from Demon Warriors to Demon Brute. So he's no longer a warrior, he doesn't get the armor anymore, and Doom cooldown changed from 10 to 20. I think they just butchered Doom right now. I think Doom is probably gonna be pretty trash. Like, first of all, he doesn't get demon bonus anymore, right? So it doesn't get like this massive pure damage, right? Then he doesn't get warrior bonus anymore. He's not tanky. Now they changed their cooldown from 10 to 20, and demons are so like reliant on casting spells to steal the buff so they can do a shit ton of damage, right? So for 4 seconds, yeah, sure, Doombringer might be able to like have, let's say, 200% pure damage if you have 4 demons on the board, but like Doom doesn't even attack that fast, and his cooldown is very long, so he's not gonna steal. He's not gonna have the spotlight for a very long period of time, right? So I feel like Doom might be butchered at this stage. So Eidolon, but it could be worth it if you're gonna play for the Brute, right? Eidolon, rank 3 Eidolons are now possible from Primordials, level 3, 6 units, okay? Attack damage minimum change from 4080 to 4080, 160. Armor change from 510 to 510, 15. Attack damage max change from 60, 120 to 60, 120, 240. Okay, so there's a third level of Eidolons, and they look pretty strong. They double in damage. Every time they rank up, they double in damage. They get 5 more armor, and their max damage is also changed to double as well. Looks pretty interesting, actually. Let's see what are the units that you can use with that alliance. Where are you? Primordial. So Razor, Enigma, Morphling, Tiny, Basis Void, Arc Warden, and Io. Right, Void is also a primordial. Huh, didn't think about that. So there's actually 7 primordials. You're probably not playing Basis Void in primordials, right? Yeah. The other ones could potentially make sense to be ran together. Primordial mages are back! Enchantress. Alliances change from Savage Druid to Savage Druid Healer. So Ench, another one cost unit who now has 3 alliances, which is insane in my opinion, to have 3 alliances as a 1 cost unit. The only other one who has that is Warlock. So pretty cool. Ench was already a really good unit, now probably even stronger potentially. Especially with Savages being good, and Healers seem pretty nice too. Enigma changed from Ace of Shamans to Ace of Primordials. Good. I don't even like Ace of Shamans. It seemed very lackluster. Old Ace effect. Yep, we know what it did. Now the new Ace effect is allied Eidolons cast Malefice on their killer, stunning them for 0.4 seconds every 2 seconds. 0.4 every... Wait. What? Allied Eidolons cast Malefice on their killer. Okay. The effect lasts 2 seconds per Primordial Alliance level. Ooh. The target takes 50 damage per Primordial Alliance level each time they are stunned. Interesting. Damage changed from 5%, 7%, 9% to 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. So they changed the Midnight Pulse damage as well. Why did they nerf that? Oh, right, because every unit has double the health, so they had to half the values of the Midnight Pulse. That makes sense. Okay, we got that out of the way. Allied Eidolons cast Malefice on their killer. So only the Eidolons do that, not your primordial units. Only allied Eidolons cast Malefice on the killer. Only the Eidolons that die. So first of all, okay, you need your Razor. Let's say your Razor to die first. Then you need your Eidolons to die first in order to activate the Ace effect, right? Now the Ace effect stuns them lasts for 2 seconds depending on your level of primordial. So if you have level 1 primordials, it lasts only 2 seconds, which only will stun them for 0.4 seconds. If it has level 2 primordials, it lasts for 4 seconds, but it'll give you 2 ticks of stuns. Level 3 primordials, 3 ticks of stuns, right? Because it's only stunning for 0.4 every 2 seconds. Then if you have level 3 primordials, it's also doing 150 damage every tick, so it'll add up to 450 damage. And I'm assuming that's magic damage, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that good, but having a mini stun is pretty nice in a lot of cases, because you can like, it's kind of like Cask, right? You can like stop animations, you can stop attacks and stuff like that. But the only thing is you need your Eidolons to die so that they will cast a Malefice on their killer. Oh, it triggers at the beginning. This is true too, actually. It might trigger right away as soon as they die, right? That's very true. That's very true. So it's actually 2 stuns on level 1 primordial, 3 stuns on level 2 primordials, 4 stuns on level 3 primordial. Okay, that makes more sense. That will give it more value for sure. So as soon as, let's say like a Kodo casts Blast, it kills an Eidolon, he will instantly get mini stunned. Then 2 seconds later, he'll get mini stunned again. So that's okay. Okay, I can see that now. That makes a lot more sense for sure. Getting stunned at the beginning is gonna be good. That's for sure then. So even if you have level 1 Eidolons, like if let's say you have level 1 in Primordials, it's still gonna at least stun for 0.8 seconds when they kill the Eidolon, right? And Eidolons, they seem pretty strong. Like as we read it, like how much damage they do. To be honest, your level 3 Eidolon is stronger than Razor. Your level 3 Eidolon is probably stronger than a 2-star Razor. Like 2-star Razor's DPS is pretty weak. Okay, it's not stronger than two, but like level 3 Eidolon is definitely stronger than 2-star Razor by a lot. It can even match up to like 3-star Razor's DPS. It's even higher than 3-star Razor's DPS because 3-star Razor's DPS is 164, and that's the level 3 Eidolon's minimum damage. That's pretty interesting. Alright, let's move on. Gyrocopter, old ace effect grants Deadeye units True Strike. Units with True Strike cannot miss. We know that one. Now the new ace effect is attacks from Deadeye units pierces their main target, dealing 100% damage per Deadeye Alliance level to the unit behind them. Plus, okay. Dealing 100% damage per Deadeye Alliance level to the unit behind them. So let's take a look at Deadeye. So it says here 100% damage per Deadeye Alliance level. There's only one Alliance level, so maybe in the future there'll be more. That's what that's about, right? And it does 100% to the unit behind them. That's pretty cool, right? That's wicked. So like, if the unit is in the middle, the one that's super low health, right? And all your Deadeyes are hitting it. All the units that are behind them, I don't know if it's like a cone or if it's only directly behind, that unit is also going to take full damage. So your Deadeyes can pretty much like hit 2 units at the same time, which is wicked. That's way better than the True Strike that it used to have. Oh, I'm so excited for Gyrocopter. That sounds cool. I like that. Now positioning might be a bit more important when you are like one-on-one against a Deadeye board, so that your units are like spread out, so it's not hitting multiple units with the hits. It's unit, not units, so it's only the unit behind it, right? So it's only one unit, so it's not a cone. Okay, makes sense. It's only one unit, whatever. Still very, very good. A lot better than units with True Strike cannot miss, right? Very nice. Keeper of Delight, maximum mana change from 150 to 100. Illuminate, mana cost change from 150 to 100. Okay, so they buffed Coddle. Maybe because you need to run humans in order to gain mana with it, right? So they buff Coddle back to 100 mana. Pretty cool. I like it. Seems like he could be very, very strong again. There could be some changes. I mean, I guess one of the things is that all the units have double the health. So the Coddle Blast is not doing as much damage because they never scaled the damage of the Coddle, right? They never scaled the damage of the Coddle according to the fact that all the units have twice the health. So Keeper's ult is not gonna be like doing as much damage as before, but because his mana pool is low and his cooldown is not that bad, his cooldown is like 8 seconds at level 2 or something. Yeah, 8 seconds at level 2. So he's gonna be able to cast, he's gonna need to cast like 2 Illuminates to make up for the fact that every units have double the health. So I like it. I like it. Good change. It's like just small buffs so that he can keep up with the current tempo of the game. Lina, attack rate changed from 0.62 to 0.71, so she attacks faster, right? Tier change to 2 to 3. Oh, she's back to 3 cost. Laguna Blade. Damage changed from 500 to 600 base, scales up to 15. Now sets targets on fire for 5 seconds. What the heck? Sets targets on fire for 5 seconds. What is that? What is this fire ability? I wish it told us what fire is. I'm guessing that's probably related to the Underlord, right? Yeah, it's probably related to the Underlord, so we're gonna check that out soon. Alright, Medusa changed from Ace of Scale to Ace of Hunters. Holy shit, Hunters got a buff. So it goes from Retaliate to Hunters deal 5% extra attack damage per Hunter Alliance level for each other Hunter attacking the same target. Pepper hands. So it's like the old, what was that thing? The Hunter Focus Fire. It's like they had some item like this in the game before, right? So deal 5% extra damage per Hunter Alliance level for each other Hunter attacking the same target. So if you have level 2 Hunters, it's going to deal 10% extra damage as long as you're attacking the same unit. Okay, I see another Hunter in there that looks really interesting, so we're going to go to that pretty soon. Interesting. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but for Hunters who can do multiple hits on a target, that kind of adds up, right? Focus Fire, yes, that's what it was called, Focus Fire. Alright. Oh, they have some weird stuff here. There's a glossary. Okay, status effects. Breaks. Disarm units cannot attack. Disable. Oh, there's fire. Units on fire lose 2.5% of their max health every second. This effect is not lethal. Ah. I mean, we didn't read about that yet, right? But that's pretty interesting. Lose 2.5% of their max health every 5 seconds. Of their max health. That's a lot. So it lasts for 5 seconds. That's 12.5%. So every time she casts Laguna Blade, it'll also remove 12.5% of their health in damage. That's impressive. Seems interesting. Alright. So let's move on. So it pretty much has Focus Fire. It could be pretty good. I mean, it's better than the Retaliate, I think. It's still scaled too, the Dusa. Nature's Prophet. Alliance changed from Elusive Druid to Druid Shaman. So it's no longer Elusive Nature's Prophet, it's a Druid Shaman. Okay, so it's another Shaman unit. Necrophos Alliance changed from Heartless Warlock to Heartless Healer. So Necro is no longer a Warlock. Oof, that hurts for Warlocks. Because Warlocks, like Necrophos was pretty much the best Warlock in the game. So that's kind of painful to lose Warlock. Omni Knight Alliance changed from Human Knight to Human Knight Healer, so adding another alliance to Omni, really good for him. Because he was pretty lackluster as a Knight only. And his heal's gonna heal for additional 30%. Very good. Sanking Alliance changed from Savage Assassin to Savage Insect. So he's an insect now instead of an assassin. So assassins actually lost their only stunner. Now they have Chrono Cube, okay? But Sanking was actually a wicked assassin because he added a level of like CC, like crowd control, right? For assassins, which was very important. And he filled a slot of the assassin. So I think this was actually a pretty big loss for assassins. Sanking. He was actually very, very important in assassins. That's unfortunate. Like I would say Sanking was even better than Chrono Cube because Chrono Cube can affect your own assassins and they can't attack. But Sanking can like just burrow strike and then buy time for your assassins to hit. That's kind of painful. I guess they gained Nyx Assassin, but Nyx is like a 1 cost versus Sanking who's a 4 cost, right? It was really strong. Okay, Shadow Shaman. Maximum mana changed from 100 to 70. Hex. Cooldown changed from 10 to 8. Mana cost changed from 10 to 70. Okay. I mean, he can cast more hexes and he can cast them faster. Very impressive. He definitely needed some kind of a buff. So, you know, small buffs, but definitely goes a long way, right? And we should not sleep on Shadow Shaman because like there's more shamans in the game now. So there's a very good probability like You can use this unit as a disabler, like as a some kind of utility unit for sure. I can see a lot of use for Shadow Shamans now. Slark, Essence Shift. Stolen attack speed changed from 357 to 123. Why? I'm guessing it's because the fights last longer, right? Every unit has twice the health. So the fights last longer and the Slark is gonna be stealing more stats. So they had to like tone down how much he's stealing. But one thing they didn't change about Slark is, so stolen attack speed, right? But it's still going to steal damage by 345. So even though the fights are going to be very long and the units have a lot of health, he's going to still be stealing a lot of damage from the units that he jumps on. That's pretty cool. Strike is still going to be a very powerful unit because of that, especially since a lot of units are going to be very high in health. Terrorblade Alliance changed from Demon Hunter to Demon Hunter. Lol, he's a Demon Hunter, guys. So he's a hunter now. Holy shit, Terrorblade can attack so fast. If he has the hunter bonus, that's insane. If you have like 4 demons and you have hunters, sounds like a very squishy lineup. But if he ever triggers and gets all the pure damage for that little time and he procs like a few hunter hits, he can probably like kill 1 or 2 units within that 4-second time frame where he activates his ult. So having disables for Terrorblade against Terrorblade is going to be very, very important. 6 hunters with TV3. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. But you're gonna need a lot of disables, and you're not gonna have. But like hunters also don't have that disables themselves, right? So it's gonna be unfortunate. So you're gonna need to build around that for sure. But now TB can be one of your hunters. He fills out that hunter slot, which is crazy. 6 hunters actually sounds wicked. I'm gonna try that shit at some point for sure. Tiny Toss. Stun duration changed from 1.5 to 2.5 to 1.52. Cooldown changed from 10.86 to 10.9. Wow, they nerfed Tiny big time. I mean, the fights last longer, so he's gonna get more stuns off it anyway. But that's a pretty big nerf, to be honest. Like 1 second stun versus 1.5. Yeah, pretty big nerf. Tremp Protector Alliance has changed from Elusive Druid to Druid Brute. So it's no longer an elusive. He doesn't get evasion anymore. That's very Pepega for Trent. He's very sad for sure about that. But he is a brute, so he can still reduce some damage from the enemies. But not making it elusive, that's a big hit on elusives, right? And then Warlock Alliance changed from Bloodbound Warlock to Bloodbound Warlock Healer. So Warlock can definitely heal for more. So let's take a look at elusives then. Because they just lost 2 units. Wow. That is so sad. No wonder they made elusives that powerful in terms of their alliance. Because elusives only have AM, PA, TA, Marana, Luna, Puck, and Windranger. Elusives literally have 0 tanks. They have 3 assassins, they have 2 hunters, they have a mage, and a knight. They actually don't have any tanks, and they've gone down to 7 units. So you're pretty much forced to run 6 of these guys, right? Out of 7. So which one do you take out? You pretty much take out either the Luna or the Puck. So elusives don't have an easy like direction in the early game, right? But PA and Anti-Mage, when they trigger the elusive bonus, is gonna have insane like power boost. Like they're gonna be untouchable for 3 seconds, and then their attack speed is also being increased by 35. So, and with elusives alone, you can already finish 3 assassins, right? So elusives drop from being a tank comp, like with the Trent and whatever, into being like the super DPS units who can also like tank themselves in the backline if they proc their ability. So completely new, like it's like a completely new alliance. Just by removing 2 units, they made this alliance so different. Maybe running 3 is enough? Yeah, maybe running 3 is enough, but 10% chance is not very high either. But it's very like RNG base for that back. So, but pretty cool. I like elusives actually. I can see how they can be really, really good. But elusives having assassins on their own is like a pretty big deal, right? Alright, so we already read through all these ones. Let's take a look at the items here. So there's some item changes, new items. Assassin's Veil, tier 3. Equipped hero always attacks the enemy underlord if able. Equipped heroes attack against the enemy underlord, remove 10 hype. 3 seconds cooldown. Interesting. Assassin's Veil. So this can go on any unit. And they will try to focus the underlord if they possibly can. And they also remove 10 hype. Pretty interesting. We need to figure out how much hype you need to cast spells, right? We were not able to read up on the underlords quite yet. Yeah, we need to see like how much hype you need. Celebratory Murder Gong. Tier 2 item. Every time the equipped hero gets a kill, they generate 20 hype for your underlord. Ooh, interesting. That's pretty cool too. So there's ways to gain hype for your underlord with with your units, and there's a way to remove hype from the enemy and also focus their underlord. 2 new items. Cool. Item changes big time contract. Health bonus change from 250 to 500 because it's every unit has double the health, right? So you need to scale your items according to that. Eye of Skadi, also its HP got doubled to 800. Fall from Grace removed, so there's no more Fall from Grace anymore because you can already create 6 Heartless with just Heartless units alone. Healing Ward, heal per second, change from 20 to 40. Also scaling with every unit being double health. Heart of Harass, same thing. Double health. Mechans, also double the health. Healing, Tombstone, armor change from 20 to 10. That's a pretty huge nerf from Tombstone, especially considering every unit has twice the health, but Tombstone's health is not being doubled. So it's a 2000 HP Tombstone with 10 armor. So Tombstone got a pretty big nerf, and it's still a tier 4 unit, so that's really painful, guys. Vanguard, health bonus change from 250 to 500. Same thing. Bit booster 250 to 500. So all these changes here for items are just because every other item got... So every other unit got double the health, so they needed to scale the items accordingly. So they doubled the health that the items provide. You think Tombstone HP got doubled, but it's missing the... So it's just missing the thing? Okay. So maybe that's true. Maybe it's just missing that the line there. Maybe Tombstone health did get doubled as well. We'll see soon enough. Alright, well that's all the patch notes regarding the units and their alliances. Very interesting, guys. The things that I'm most happy about or excited about is the trash talk. Of course, that's awesome. New items. Drop rates are amazing. I like that. Really excited about Dazzle. Seems cool. Units. Io looks freaking insane in my opinion. I think these numbers are way too powerful. But Io looks insane. The low roll on relocate versus the high roll on relocate, like the spread is way too good for the high roll IMO. Legion Commander looks very interesting, but I think you need to kind of cater your lineup around Legion Commander, and you kind of need to hit the upgrades for it. So I'm on the fence, but it looks cool. Like Io though, oh my gosh, this unit looks insane. Bristleback looks insane. I think this unit's gonna be crazy. Heart Lifestealer as well. So Bristol, Lifestealer, Io for me are like the just off paper, like without putting it into practice, feel like my favorite units so far. Legion as well is somewhere up there, but I would put these 3 higher. Broodmother seems... I don't know. I can't judge this unit, but it's a Warlock without damage, and it's a complete utility unit, and it's a tier 4 cost. Like, I'm gonna put this unit in the dumpster for the time being. Faceless Void, medium. Sven looks like he could be a god. For sure. So yeah, Sven looks like he could be really good. Anti-mage, yeah, elusive assassins, they all become assassins. Everything looks pretty cool, to be honest. I mean, I'm game with all of this stuff. Everything looks wicked. So let's take a look at one more thing. So let's take a look at where is our boys. We need to look at one thing, the Underlords. Passive ability. Anessix generates a base of 1.5 hype per second with an additional 0.72 HPs for each allied demons on the board. She summons a companion to fight at her side. Generates a base of 1.5 hype per second. That's her passive ability, right? With an additional 0.27 hype per second for each allied demon on the board. So Anessix is a lot about having demons, huh? Interesting. She summons and resummon a companion to fight at her side. So she can resummon it, even if it dies. Okay, Martyr's Boon. 20% of her max health. All allied units immediately heal for 50 per level and receive 5 HP regen per level for 8 seconds. Interesting, that's a lot. Oh my goodness, there's so many things here. Round 10 upgrades, round 10 upgrades. Jeez, dude, there's... What? How do you get through all this stuff? What the heck? Like all the stuff. Anessix companion gains 25% chance of quickly performing 3 extra attacks. Chaotic Hunter, like all the talents that go with this is actually insane. Brill Bruiser, a Brill Bruiser demon spawns instead. The demon stands nearby, blocks range attacks, and its attacks have a chance to bash. Despite all my rage, whenever Anessix companions is killed, they come back angrier. Companions gain 150% attack damage every time they resurrect. Exploit weakness. Anessix companion attacks break their target for 3 seconds. A Demon's Revenge. That's round 30. Whenever Anessix companion is killed, the killer takes 100 pure damage per level and is broken for 3 seconds. But yeah, Martyr's Boon. So what are the talents for it? Instead of healing, Martyr's Boon now grants 25% increased attack damage. So instead of healing, it can give attack damage. But it'll cost 20% of Anessix's health. Okay. Confident Boost. Anessix gains plus 40% hype generation while affected by a boon. Cool. Instant Regret. That's the round 25. Friendly units affected by a boon break their killer for the rest of the fight. Okay. Interesting. And 30 is Anessix no longer sacrifices health when casting boon. Oh, interesting. So she can just keep casting it. Pure Pain. Anessix targets a random enemy, dealing 10 pure damage per level every second over 6 seconds. Dealing 10 pure damage per level every second for 6 seconds. So 60 pure damage per level. So how does the level work, guys? That it's like according to what level you are, right? In the game. So if you're at level 8, it'll do 80 pure damage for over 6 seconds. Every second. So it'll do 80 pure damage every second for 6 seconds, correct? If you're level 8. So Sharp Pain, Pure Pain double damage is doubled. Oh, that can do a lot of pure damage to a unit. Broken Hearts, the target is broken while affected by Pure Pain. Phantom Pain, your army gains 2 armor per level while an enemy unit is afflicted by Pure Pain. So your whole army gains a lot of armor. That's pretty crazy. Depending on the level. So wait, is per level dependent on what level of Pure Pain it is? Or what level your Underlord is? That's what I'm still unsure about. But yeah. Transfusion. Anessix and her companion heal for the same amount of damage done by Pure Pain. Damage done by Pure Pain. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of healing done. Heavy wounds. Target afflicted by Pure Pain cannot be healed. Oof. That's strong. And another round 31. Anessix now targets 2 enemies with Pure Pain. Okay. Enthrall. Anessix marks a target for her army for 5 seconds, forcing them to attack it. If the target dies, Anessix brings them back as a demon to fight for her. This one is like really strong, right? Bring it down. So it costs 100. So you need to reach 100 hype to do this. The target is broken while targeted by an Essex army. And the round 35 is when the target is captured via enthrall. They come back with 100% mana. Woohoo! So if you kill like a Tidehunter, it'll come back with 100% mana and just ravage everything. Wait, let's take a look at how much hype everything else needs. This one needs Boon needs 20 hype, and it's generating 1.5 hype per second. Okay, this Pure Pain needs 50 hype. Enthrall needs 100 hype, and then Summon Demonic Golem. Cause an unholy favor and summons a Demonic Golem for 100 hype. Cool. The Golem health is increased by 100% and will taunt his enemy into attacking the Golem. That's around 35 talent for that. And Crash. The Golem crashes down, stunning every enemy within 2 cells for 2 seconds. That's the cool one. That's the Crash stun's wicked. You know, let me see. Draw 3, TB3 plus Hunter bonus. Underlord level. Okay, so based off your Underlord level. Okay, so the Pure Pain can do a shit ton of damage. Alright. Cool. I don't know what the stats are, but we'll figure it out.
Let's make a little mischief.
Hobgen, passive ability. Hobgen generates 1.65 hype. Wait, is that the same? Do they have the same hype?
Together we'd be unstoppable.
1.5. So Hobgen actually generates faster hype. It's an additional 0.95 hype for each unit he's lit on fire. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 spells?
Wonderful things I could show.
4 spells. They both have 4 spells. They're like Dota heroes, right? Yeah. Generates hype with an additional Any enemy Hobgen attacks is set on fire for 3 seconds, burning down the house. Whenever Hobgen attacks a unit on fire, the fire will spread to a random adjacent enemy. Oh, interesting. And we know what fire does. It burns for 2.5% of their max health. That's a lot of damage over time. Cool. That's his 10 talents. Pyro techniques. When an enemy dies while on fire, their mana is distributed across all your units. Their mana is distributed across all your units. When an enemy dies while on fire, their mana is distributed across all your units. Okay, so you can feed mana to your team. Cool. Hot Rod. Hobgen's attack speed is increased by 10 per level. Hobgen gains 1 armor per level and sets his attackers on fire. Wow. So whoever attacks him, and he becomes like a tank, and then he puts them on fire, and he also gets 1 armor. Interesting. Melting point, units on fire lose 0.5 armor a second until the fire is extinguished. Keep it secret. While on fire, enemy units are silenced. Ooh, that's a pretty big one. Silencing your units, like you can pretty much silence your units permanently. Explosivo. Hobgen launches a fireball at a target that deals 125 damage per level, split evenly amongst all targets adjacent and setting them all on fire. Hobgen gains 1 hype per unit, so this one costs 15 hype. Very cheap spell. Hobgen gains 1 hype per unit hit in the blast. Implosion doubles the effect of Explosivo on the main target. Drain Bomb, the explosion no longer damages and instead drains 25 points of mana or hype. Holy shit. Drain Bomb sounds wicked. Round 25 Afterburn. The cell of the fireball stays on fire for 5 seconds with a 10 damage per second per level effect on enemies standing on it. Shockwave. Enemies hit are stunned for 1 second and pushed away from the main target. Wow, he has a stun too. But that's round 30. Very late into the game. Supercharged. Hobgen supercharges the closest friendly unit, setting them on fire and granting them 15 attack speed per level. That scales pretty well, 15 attack speed. Firebreak. Supercharged unit gain 25% damage reduction. Okay. Got a light. Enemy attacks by supercharged units are set on fire for 5 seconds. Uh-oh. Kaboom! Whenever a supercharged unit dies, it explodes, doing 20% of its max health in damage to adjacent enemies and setting them on fire for 5 seconds. So, how long does supercharge last for? Is it forever? Sounds like it's forever, because like especially with Kaboom, right? It explodes, doing 20% of its max damage, max health and damage to adjacent enemies and setting them on fire for a second. That's a lot of damage on if it gets on tanks. Feedback loop. Supercharged units gain mana from damage caused by abilities. Upon casting, they deal damage equal to the mana cost to adjacent enemies. Huh, so they gain mana from damage caused by abilities. It's like Dota Auto Chess. So if you cast spells and they do damage, you're gonna keep charging your mana back. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Upon casting, they deal damage equal to the mana cost to adjacent enemies. So if your unit, it's like 100 damage, it'll do to the units around it. Not a lot, but it's still something, right? It doesn't seem like a very good talent, to be honest, for round 25. Spark. Whenever a unit is supercharged, its cooldowns are reset. Reset your Tidehunter? I know it's not mana, and it's not spent on cast. Dude, there's so much stuff, like, it's actually insane. So supercharged stays forever. I mean, anyway, the two last spells, the ultimates pretty much. Hobgen gains supercharged and will continuously switch targets to units that are not on fire. So he's just gonna like, let's go crazy, right? He's just gonna keep hitting units until everything is on fire, right? Fire suppression, enemy units that are on fire have their healing reduced by 50%. Cool. Yeah, burnt. While under the effects of Let's Go Crazy, Hobgen doubles the damage rate of all burning units. Okay, that sounds a lot better than healing reduced. Friendly fire, 100 hype. So these two are 100 hype, right? That's a lot of hype. Buddies throw 8 bombs in the battlefield, dealing 500 damage to enemy units caught in their explosion. 500 damage to enemies caught in the explosion. Okay, it's not a lot of damage, but it's still pretty good, right? 8 bombs. 8 bombs could be a lot, though. I mean, we'll like a lot of these things, we gotta like see it in actual gameplay to see like how strong it actually is, right? So danger close, the bombs will only land on the enemy sides of the board. So without the talent, the friendly like the bombs will actually land on your side of the board as well. So it can do damage to your own units. Is that what it says? Sticky Strike. The bombs add a permanent damage over time effect that deals 5% of the unit's current health. Friendly Fire seems like kind of a lackluster spell, to be honest. Yeah. Ranked is available. Cool. Alright. Let's go and restart our game. So that's pretty much everything in terms of Underlords and the patch. I mean, we have to play in order to see like how strong a lot of these things are, because we haven't had a chance to play any of this at all, right?